Now, because this camera is a PT, which stands for pan and tilt, it has a 355-degree horizontal and a 90-degree vertical range. The biggest lie about battery cameras is their 24/7 recording. They either fall asleep until they see motion, but by the time they start recording, you've missed the first 5 to 10 seconds of the footage that you actually required. Is the Reolink Atlas PT Ultra. And it's time to decide whether we can finally ditch those wired cameras and rejoin Reolink. So let's get into it. So like I said, we have the products from Reolink and we're gonna get into it. First off, in the box that they did kindly send over a 64GB micro SDXC card, which was very nice of them. Thank you very much. So we'll get into the bigger box first and then we'll go from there. So let's get this unboxed. Very nice unboxing experience. I like it. Ooh, a lot of goodies. Okay, so we're gonna get into them when we get everything unboxed. Small disclaimer. Do not eat the silica packets, but they taste really good. So we'll talk about the little things first, then we'll go from there. So first off, they do give us a USB to USB Type-C cable. I'm not sure if this is just basic for charging the device quickly or for data transfer, but obviously they've put that in the box as well, which is quite nice. We do get some hardware, which is just basic, probably 6mm plugs, couple screws, and some nuts, some bolts as well, which is quite nice. Little strap here, not sure why we've got this, but I'll get into that in a second. And then we do have a mounting bracket. Now I'm going to assume this is for depending where you want it to go. Let's have a look, see. So, there you go. So we have the mounting bracket itself. So that goes on there. So we have the mounting bracket, and in the side here we do have some little screws that are in there. So ball that to your wall, that slides on, screw it in. That is really simple. Right, let's have a look at the camera and get all this peely off. Wow, wow, wow. That is all I have to say. Right, first off, it has a lot of weight to it. It really does. But let's talk about this camera. Now, look at the size of that. First off, massive camera sensor going on there. And then we also have 6 individual LED lights going on the bottom there. I'm going to say that's for more of a security, so you can use this camera as well as a kind of like a shadow lamp as well. So as you walk towards it, the lights come on. Kind of like an indication like, yo, you need to get away. But no, massive little sensor there. So pop that to one side, we'll have a little look. So we do get a little protected by Reolink 24/7 video surveillance. Some companies and some housings do have to display if they have security. So I'm assuming that's why they've given us 5 of them, which is quite nice. If you do have a business and you think that's true, let me know. We do have some mounting hardware. They have given us 2 different variations. I'm guessing one for wall mount, one for ceiling mount, which is quite nice. We get a warning tips. We do have a battery Wi-Fi security solution. So this is non-stop solar power, controlled hub, diverse modules available. So it does give you a little display of all the different modules that you can get. So the one obviously we're using is the 4K continuous recording battery camera. We do have a little bit about the compliance as well as the operation instructions. Now this is going to tell you everything you need to know about it in multi-different languages, how to install it, where to get the app, because obviously you can get the app on iOS and Android, how to connect the device and all that good stuff. Like I said, this is going to be the solar panel, which I'm really excited for. Right, so we've got instructions. Have you seen the size of that? For instance, that's the size of my hand. Damn, she's thick. Right, let's get her out. We'll get everything out and we'll go back to it. Right, so for the likes of the solar panel, we do get a little template as well for the actual arm it's going to be on, which is quite nice. And then again, we do have the operations instructions. It's just going to tell you exactly how to get it installed. Obviously plugging it into the camera, getting it into the camera, which is quite nice. So we do get another strap again. I think this is to go behind the plate and then attached to it. I'm not too sure. It's something I'm not going to be using. We do get a foam mount. This is going to be for the back here, if I get it the right way around. 1 minute, nearly there, nearly there. It's like a little puzzle. So we get down to the back of there. You've got some sticky tape there. That sticks to the device, and then I guess that adds to the waterproofness. Quote me if I'm wrong. See a little backing plate there. That's going to screw onto the actual holes that are inside the thing. And can I just say for a start, like, listen to this. Normally when I review cameras like this, even some of the most expensive ones, they normally make these out of cheap plastic. I'm going to assume this is maybe cast aluminum. Right, let's pop that to one side. I made a bit of a mess here. We do get a little adapter here. This is micro USB to USB Type-C. Now, the only reason I can think why they've given us a USB Type-C to micro USB adapter is maybe if you've got just the solar panel and you've got a different device, maybe. That's definitely something I'll have a look into, but I'm assuming that's the reason why. So here we do have the slot for the micro SD card. So like I said, we do have a micro SD card here that just slots into the top, so you can actually store internal storage, which is quite nice. Obviously, you don't have to get 64 gig. You can get a little bit more. I think it caps out at 256 maybe. Again, I'll put some things up on the screen for you. So what we're actually going to do, get this installed, go through the app, and see what we're working with. So first impressions to the camera. It is beefy, don't get me wrong, it is a built unit. It's built like a tank with an IP65 waterproof rating. On the bottom, you've got a USB Type-C port and a power button that's protected by a thick rubber seal. And of course, the micro SD slot, which is tucked away within the camera's body. Now, let's talk about the specs because they are industry leading. We have 4K UHD resolution, which is an 8 megapixel of crystal clear detail. It also does compact with a 20,000 milliamp hour battery, and again, that's 4 times the size than a standard battery camera. And the ColorX night vision, an f1.0 super aperture lens that captures 4 times more light than a standard camera. And of course, the dual band Wi-Fi 6 for lag-free 4K streaming, which is a massive thing for, especially for people that are going to be putting this on an outside building where they don't have access to it at all times. This is literally the headline feature, the continuous recording. Usually battery cameras would die in hours if you had to record 24/7, but not the Atlas PT Ultra. You can do around 4 days of non-stop 4K recording on a single charge. Let me say it again, 4 days of non-stop recording, 4K recording on a single charge. Or you can do 8 days if you set it to a 12-hour day. If you just want standard motion triggering, it lasts up to 16 months. I'm going to put that on the screen. 16 months. But if you also get the 6-watt solar panel, you basically never have to take it down to charge it ever. Now that's just a selling point straight away for me. Most cameras use spotlights to get their color at night, which can be annoying to neighbors, but the Atlas PT uses ColorX. It's so sensitive to the light that it gives you full color daytime looking footage in near total darkness without turning on a single LED. It's honestly some of the best night footage that I think I've ever seen for a consumer camera. Now, because this camera is a PT, which stands for pan and tilt, it has a 355-degree horizontal and a 90-degree vertical range. It features AI auto tracking, so it can distinguish between people, vehicles, and pets. Once it locks in, it follows the subject around the yard or wherever this camera is set, ensuring there is 0 blind spots. So you know fine well, whatever you've got this camera pointing at, it's going to be protected. Now, what about the pros and cons? The pros, subscription free. Now that is the biggest headline that you've got on this camera. The local storage on a micro SD card, which can be expanded up to 512 gigabytes. The pre-recording, it captures 10 seconds of video before the motion starts, which is great just in case of those alterations that you might need a little bit extra security. And of course, the Wi-Fi 6. It's extremely stable connection, even at 4K bit rates. Now the cons. I'm not really sure we can call these cons, but I had to find something. The size. It is big, not exactly subtle, but when it comes to security, do you really want people not knowing it's there? The continuous mode. While 4 days is impressive for a battery, you still need a solar panel if you want 24/7 recording year round. But then again, if you get the solar panel and you fit it to the camera and it's installed, you never have to touch it again. So I guess that's a con and a pro at the same time. If you want it to record continuously all year round, get a solar panel. If you want to record for 4 solid days and charge it every 4 days, then I guess that's a win-win really. I guess again, it comes down to personal preference. If you want the power of a professional wired system, but you don't want to start drilling holes through your walls and cables, the Reolink Atlas PT Ultra is probably the best wireless option on the market as it stands. It truly is a beast. So we are just going to talk a little bit about the app. Like you can see, I have got it on the screen here, just over recording, and we're just going to go for a few bits. So this is the first layout you will see when you load through the app. So it's got the image camera. So like I said, I've got mine set at the front door. So this is what predominantly you're going to see. And obviously we've got a few features. We've got play and pause, we've got mute, take a photo, record photo, and then we can also change the resolution. So I've got mine set to high. You can set it to low to save on battery space if that's something you'd want to do. But if we go down to the bottom where it says PTZ, we can go to pan and tilt. We can go to audio recording, so you can actually talk through the camera and actually speak to, say, if someone's at your door, the post lady, the post guy, whatever. You can talk through that as well. But with the pan and tilt feature, this allows you to move the camera obviously up and down as well as left to right. Obviously, hence the name pan and tilt. But it does give you 350 degrees of motion as well as a 90 degree of motion as well, going for more of the tilt version. Now I've gone to some of the settings. You can see we've got battery life, Wi-Fi, display, sound, light, all that good stuff. You can fully customize the app going through here, and then obviously depending how you've installed it, you can actually flip the camera vertically and horizontally to make sure that your actually image is straight. And of course we can mess around with the OSD settings as well as image as well as nighttime. Now nighttime mode is going to be the most critical, because this filming at night, it may as well not exist. It feels like I'm filming throughout the day. But we can change the brightness settings if you're not happy with the resolution, as well as anti-flicker from 50 to 60 Hertz, which is quite handy. Now if we go back, we do scroll down, obviously we do have alarm settings, so we can actually turn the LED on or off, depending if you want to be more of a security and you don't want people knowing that you actually have a security camera. So we can turn that off. I'm going to leave my on because I want to leave it on. Then if we go back, we do have obviously your push notifications, but we do have PIR monitor settings. So this allows us to set up for the sensors, so when the camera actually detects someone moving, we can change the sensitivity from 1 to 100, and then we can also use reduce false alarm. So if you have people continuously walking back and forward, you can turn that on so it'll stop showing as many notifications. And of course, camera recording, this is where you can change your motion recording schedule, a post recording duration, how much you want to record prior to the camera being set off. Obviously I don't have mine set at the minute. And we do actually have a time-lapse feature, which is quite handy on a camera like this. So the time-lapse feature enables you to capture hour-long or even day-long footage if that is something that you're interested in. And of course we do have file encryption if you want to send and receive obviously letters. We do have a legal lockout, which is quite nice. So if someone tries to access the camera so many times, it'll illegally lock it out. And then one of the weird things is we do have a siren. I am not going to set that off because my neighbours will kill me. I will do a short in a couple of days' time when the area I live in is a bit quiet, and we'll go from that. But one thing I want to talk about is monitor point. Now what this allows is the camera to be fixed to a certain point, but if it tracks something, the camera will follow that person or car or vehicle. When it's finished tracking them, it'll actually go back to its dedicated place, which is really handy. And then of course we do have the backup, so we can actually go through and actually see all of our footage, all of our detection, whether it's a person or car, and that is handy. So guys, there you go. I would show you the camera, but it's currently installed. So we installed the camera. I didn't film the entire thing. My camera decided to go on a little wibble as I tried recording, and my footage just disappeared. But it's nothing that the instruction manual doesn't tell you. It's a simple bracket that bolts to either a surface or a ceiling, and it just clags on. But like I said, the main point of the video, 4 days of continuous 24/7 recording. That doesn't stop and start. That's continuous 24/7 recording. That's if you are using it on battery life. I am using it on a 6-watt solar panel, so mine is going to be recording 24/7, 365 days of the year. I do not have to touch it. I control everything through the app, and I don't need to worry about it. It's installed. I'm going to leave it alone, and it will tell me when it tracks something. But the one thing is, I am really happy the way the camera turned out. Like, no more wires. The only wire I do have is to the solar panel, but that's something we can't change. We can't get Bluetooth solar panels. Has to be a wire involved if you're going to use that. If you're not going to use the panel, be prepared to charge it every 4 days if you are going to use the 24/7 recording. I think it can last up to 12 days, or 6 days, or 8 days if you split it down to 12 hours recording. But that is all down to you and the user. All the links will be in the video description for both the camera as well as the solar panel. I'll stick some in there for micro SD cards as well, because you can use up to, I think it's 564 gig or 512 gigabyte, I think it was. But I'll put them in the links in the video description as well. But if you do have this and you've got any issues, drop it down in the comment section below. I'm always more than happy to help. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll catch you in the next video.